Wendy Chavez, coming at you today with a fairly, I don't know what to call it, video. But guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. Become a member. There's lots of perks for becoming a member on YouTube, and then Wraithax.dth show me a name. The reason why I'm coming to you right now at like 1:30 in the morning, is because I just helped celebrated my friend Dan's birthday. It was a very amazing day. It was an emotional day. I started off this morning and I was like, oh, I don't want to do anything. I got a party later. I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna play video games. I started playing Polytopia and I started taking breaks from Polytopia, and I'm doing, on TikTok, and I'm watching other YouTube videos, because as a content creator, you make your own content, which is great, but you also go and you say, oh, hey, I want to watch other people's content too, because it gets draining when you don't watch other people's content and you just make your own. It's like, oh, this is, you just seem like you're spinning your heckin' wheels. And, this morning I decided to be a little bit lazy. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'm just going to go and, just goof off, which feels nice every now and then. But then I came across a TikTok, and it's like David Goggins, and it's just like, don't let your inner bitch win. And it's like, don't let your, inside of you, there are two wolves. It's there's one wolf that tells you can't do anything, you're a piece of shit, you don't deserve anything, you don't deserve happiness, you don't deserve this. And then there's the other one that says, like, you can do it, you can keep going, you can go get this workout, you can go work this extra shift, you can do X, Y, and Z. And a lot of times people give in to that inner bitch. It's like, no, I don't deserve anything, I'm just gonna get this instant gratification. And that's unfortunate, because if you look at yourself and you say, oh, hey, guess what? I am trying to prepare myself for all the things like my evil self could do. Like, there are people out there that hate you. There are people out there that go and want to see you fail. And some of them are making themselves better. Some of them are making themselves stronger, smarter, getting more money. And if you're not out there getting it, somebody else is. If you're not out there going and doing that extra workout and going and taking that extra shift and doing that extra piece of content, other people are just gonna, they're gonna surpass you, and you're gonna be left in the dust. So went to the gym, was like, all right, get this bread, did some legs, did some biceps, and then I came back, had some food, did some laundry, went to my friend's party, and it started at 2, I got there a little late. Hi guys. Thank you for being up this late. It's again 1:30 at night. We go, and this is my friend Daniel Hardwick. He's been on the podcast. If you watch my How a Comey Made Me a Millionaire video, I mentioned him and my friend Lou in there. He's the reason why I am here right now, today. And, every year he changes his birth date on Facebook to say, like, oh, Dan Hardwick is turning 39 this year. And he's been 39 for a couple years now. Anyway, we go and I just give him like that, I give him this bear hug. I was like, I love you, brother. And then it's like a few hours in, his brother Matty gets there, and I give him this big bear hug, and I wrap my arms around him. I was like, oh, what's up, Matty? How's it going? He's just a cool dude. And going and, part of the reason I love Dan is because he knows who he is. He's struggled to get where he is. He wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He has a lot of money now. He's super successful, but he was quite poor growing up, same as me. And that's why I really love him, because he self-made man, came from nothing, had a little help, had some mentors, same as he mentored me. And we go and we talk about, I don't know, a bunch of things, everything under the sun. We talk about politics, talk about religion, we talk about what, and this is just today. Like we talk about this all the time. And we have a bunch of other people there. The conversation at some point turned to aliens, which I have to make an entire video about this. Like 2 days ago, you had this family. Well, about a month and a half ago, you had this family call 911 in Las Vegas and like, listen, something just came by my house. Something landed in my backyard. There are beings that came out of this ship. I don't know what this is. They're like 8 or 9 feet tall. They're trying to start our, they're farmers. Like they're trying to start our farming equipment. We don't know what's going on. And the cops are called, and this one guy's dash cam footage, like his body cam footage, catches this blue light coming down and falling out of the sky, and it's like, oh damn. Anyway, we go over this. I'll try to link the video at some point. And what we have, it just goes to show that we can talk about anything. We can talk about our favorite whiskeys, and I'm just trying to drive the point home that he's one of my favorite humans. And he keeps really good company. He doesn't have a lot of friends because he chooses to keep his circle small. So every time I go there, no matter who's there, I know that everybody there is super nice, they're super respectful, and they're just awesome people. And one of his friend, well, I won't say any names. His buddy of his has a kid that's like, oh, I heard you do YouTube. I do YouTube too. And I was like, what? Just trying to be supportive. I've seen, I don't know if I forget if they're Tumblr posts or if they were TikToks. I think it was a Tumblr post that made its way to Facebook, where this woman now, she's an artist, and, she's like 20 something years old. She's an adult. She said that the reason why she's doing what she does, the reason why she's able to make a living for herself, making art, drawing things, painting things, for people and supporting herself this way, is because she had a babysitter like 15 years ago, when she was super young. And her babysitter used to go and used to talk about the drawings as if she was like an old school, like, I don't know if anyone's ever seen Cinderella Man with, oh God, what's his name? He's he's Robin Hood, he's Russell Crowe. Cinderella Man or Russell Crowe, he's a boxer or whatever. And if you ever see those old school fights, or you see that movie, you see the guy, oh, he's spitting up blood now, oh, and he's taking a left, he's taking a right, and he's going out the trap. Like those old school guys talking like that. Her babysitter had gone and be like, oh my God, she's using yellow and green. We haven't seen this since the great art off in 1964. Just really going and being silly, but being supportive. And and this girl says that if it wasn't for her babysitter really supporting her when she was younger, she would not have gotten into art, and she wouldn't have done like her dream. So when my friend's kid goes like, oh, you do YouTube, I do YouTube, and he goes to show me this video. It's this short of him going, 1, 2, buckle my shoe, and it's got like 2,000 views. I was like, how does this have 2,000 views? And he doesn't know how to upload videos. He just uploads shorts. It's technically his mom's account. I was like, and I don't know, I've never seen that on YouTube. I've only seen that on TikTok, where they choose a sound from another video and they like lip sync it and they mouth it. So I go like 1, 2, but I've never seen it done on YouTube. And I was like, and I went to his parents, like, does he have TikTok? Does he like go on this? And I'm like, no. I was like, how did he think of this? And they're like, I don't know. And I was like, that's really innovative. That's really interesting that, if he came to that, on his own. Like my friend Nick, he swears he came up with the word like tiggle bitties, comment down below if you understand what that means. And he's like, yeah, like I did hear of it years later, but he's like, I swear I came to that independently on my own in like 6th grade. I was like, oh, all right, respect. And it just goes to show that kids are super innovative. Kids are super, like, a lot of people really, really underestimate kids. And I think that's why, a lot of these stories, like Stranger Things, like Avatar: The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra, where you have these Harry Potter, Star Wars, where you have these kids that really have next to no business saving the world, next to no business, trying to do these things, and they're doing them, and they're doing them better than adults. And kids are really innovative. Kids are really special and creative, and um, so me and my friend Dan, we got to talking about everything, and I've been watching a lot of TikTok, as one does, and oh, my neck, oh god, that didn't feel good at all. Um, and I was like, hey guys, because him and our other friend, they're in their 40s, and they have kids. Some are teenagers, some are a little younger, and I was like, hey, how do you do it? Like if you were my age, if you were like 32 or even younger, would you marry an American woman? Would you become a passport bro, where you go to like Dominican Republic, or you go to Eastern Europe, or you go to wherever? And they're like, dude, I don't know. And we're talking about things. We're talking about just women, and like, yeah, well, they're people, and if you live with someone, you spend enough time around someone long enough, you're gonna want to like choke them out at some point. It's like I know our friend wants to do the same thing. It's like, yep, every day. And when he goes and says, but at the end of the day, you recognize that, well, yeah, they might drive you crazy, but they make you stronger, but they do X, Y, and Z. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's, I understand that. And like, what's your biggest fear? I was like, my biggest fear is coming home, and I have like, let's say like a kid or two, and like the wife comes up to me, and like as soon as I step in the door, hey, you need to go handle your kid in there. You need to go like do this, and like kick their ass. And it's like, I just got home. I don't want to deal with this. And I just walk out, and I drive away, and I never come back. Like that's my biggest fear. I would never want to do that. But I understand why people do that. Um, and they're like, all right, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have kids. It's like, yeah, probably not. Um, and then we get to like the reasons, like, okay, well, maybe that's your fear because you're working now, you're working again, and you haven't worked in a while, and now it's this new thing. And it's like, well, listen, in the future, if I were to have a family, if I were to have kids, like I would not be working. I would, at that point, be super rich with Omi, and then we get into Omi, we get into Veve, we get into all this stuff, and they're like, okay, tell us about Veve. How's it going? And these two are people that have Veve, they have Omi. They just, they it's like the minute rice. You set it and forget it. They have some, and they haven't looked at it in like a year. Um, and then I told them now, like, oh, hey, by the way, you don't need to KYC now. You don't need to do the thing with, your face. You don't need a passport. You don't need anything. You can just buy from the market. And like, oh, that's dope. And we can cash out. Like, absolutely. And you don't need 1,000 gems to cash out. You don't even need 500 gems to cash out. You need 100 gems to cash out, at least in New York, where I am anyway. And we go and we talk about things, and they're like, okay, well, the whole market's down. Our other friend has he's really really high up in JP Morgan and Chase. And a couple months ago when we were talking, and he's like, oh yeah, all of these regional banks are closing, let's say like $10 billion left from them. Okay, well, only about, God, I don't know, 700 million went into JP Morgan and Chase. Okay, well, if you times that by four, because you have four big banks, you have JP Morgan Chase, you have Citibank, you have Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whatever it is, that's 2.8 million. Okay, well, out of that 10 billion that left these banks, why are only 2.8 million, or I'm sorry, 2.8 billion going into, the big four? Well, it's because a lot of people are only keeping some of their money in, which I get 28% in the bank. They are buying a lot of stocks, they're buying a lot of real estate, and they're buying a lot of crypto. So you have a bunch of these people going, and this is when our other friend came in. I mean, he came in much later, but we started talking about Omi and Veve. As I told my friends, like, listen, if you want to be safe, S&P 500 is the safest, and I felt so out of place because every single one here is married and have kids. I'm like the complete odd man out. Um, so I was like, listen, if you want to be super safe, just S&P 500, and that's what a lot of them have. You know, they have 6, 7 figures in the S&P 500, just in the VOO and the SPY. You know, very few dollars are in crypto. The few dollars they do have is in OMI because of me. You know, pat myself on the back there. But we go and I say, like, listen, if you know, if I was your financial advisor, you give me $1, $10, you know, however much, you know, go and yeah, Bitcoin and Ethereum is the safest. You know, you'll do a 5x from here, you know, in 2 years. But if you want to be a little risky, if you want to, you know, step into the big leagues, if you want to get that 50x, 100x return, go with OMI. And you know, a couple of people here they did have OMI. A couple of other people there did not. They have no idea what it is. They don't know anything about NFTs. I was like, listen, I'll give it, you know, crash course right now. NFTs right now are the same as websites. Back in 2000, most of them are trash. They'll never get picked up. You did have a couple of these NFT projects that were able to raise a couple $1 billion, you know, the last few years because the government had interest rates at like 2%. You know, everyone was getting those pandemic checks. You know, it was easy to raise a couple $1 million. Now a lot of those things are failing. A lot of these businesses that needed, you know, that let's say have like 5% margins, which is freaking ridiculous, and they can't borrow at 2% anymore. They have to borrow at like 9%, 10%, and they're going out of business. And I was like, listen, most of these projects are going to fail. You have to go with something that is proven. You have to go with something that has stood the test of time. I don't know anything about Bored Ape Yacht Club. You know, they're fairly new and they made a huge splash in the NFTs, you know, same with Neon Cast and with all these things. They're probably, oh, you know, because they were the first to market, they're always going to have a little bit of something. But if you want super hyper growth from things that everyone will know and everyone will love, you know, yeah, the decon stuff is great. I like a lot of the artwork from Brian Viveros. I like the Luke Chu, even the Feesh. You know, link down below to mint a Feesh. You know, there's a whole Feesh city now, and I really like all the independent stuff. But the independent stuff is not gonna, you know, get people to come in and grow the space. It's gonna be Mickey Mouse. It's gonna be Spider-Man. It's gonna be Darth Vader. It's gonna be all of these amazing key characters that the world knows and they love and they trust. If they don't know you, they don't trust you. If they don't trust you, they're not going to do business with you. They know these characters. And you know, I pitched it to them. I was like, hey, this is why you do it. You know, maybe you don't understand 100% why people really like Spider-Man or why they like Superman, but you know that they do. And the first appearance is these guys on the blockchain gonna go to the freaking moon. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. I was like, oh yeah. You know, and then and I'll get more into Veve and I'll talk about stuff. I do wanna, I mean, we're being real here. Obviously I did not drive. I Ubered there, drank a fudge ton, made the Uber, you know, made the Uber back, told the Uber to stop at 7-Eleven so I can get a couple of these. And then I got these white cheddar Cheez-Its. Oh, they're so good. Anyway, I was talking to a friend of mine today, and a friend of mine had messaged the group chat that we're in. And she said, hey, listen, there's this guy that I know that is very sick and they can't go and they can't really participate in the drops anymore. And because of their sickness, you know, it's really hard for them to list or buy things in the market. And it's really hard for them to go and really operate as a Veve account. And they just want to walk away from it. And which, you know, we're talking, this same person had messaged me and it's like, oh, I know who this is. And it's a very personal letter. So I won't say who it's from, and I'll leave out a couple of things, but I do want to read it. before I go and read it, I'm going to go on my YouTube channel and I'm going to go to my live and I'm going to go and ask everyone to smash that like button. Free way to help support the channel. So yeah. Fudge. I didn't want to see that message. Okay, yeah, so let's go to this message. And let's do a... God, where is it? For this person says, hey bro, X amount of years ago, I woke up on Valentine's Day and something was wrong. My body wasn't working the way that it was. X amount of weeks later, I was disabled. And it got to the point where I couldn't really tell what was real and what wasn't. You know, everything was robbed of me. Talking about his body, not, you know, his person. But he's been able to get some of his functionality from his body back over the last couple of years. And then a couple of weeks ago, he noticed a change in his body again, and it was getting worse. And doctor says, be prepared for the worst, because there's no guarantee. And he says, so this time, he's terrified of the function of his body, that it'll leave him, and it won't come back. And I said, I'm trying strong, but after today, it's just going to be a challenge. Living day to day. I have a rare disease, I won't name it. He says it's extremely rare and unpredictable. He says, I'm afraid to try to do anything on the app because I've made a couple of mistakes and it had cost me thousands. So my days are limited. And he says, I love you, bro. And I wish I got to meet you in person. He says, but I know you're a busy man. And I just want to say thank you for everything you do. Really appreciate you. I've had fun over the last couple of years collecting. Just unfortunately, it's impossible to continue or to do anything. And he goes on, so on and so forth. And so it's the same person that a friend of mine had messaged this group chat about, like, hey, how can we help? How can we do this? And be advised, if you have a Veve digital assets, they are assets. They are alternative assets. Veve, and that's part of the reason why Veve cannot do transfers, is because it's like having a real estate company saying, oh yeah, you could transfer this title here and this title there. I know some of these things are worth a couple dollars, but some of these things are worth tens of thousands of dollars. So if you want to transfer something, let's say if you're, a parent, grandparent, whatever, and you want to transfer it to your kids, grandkids, what have you, you need to put it in your will. It's going to be hard for you to say, oh yeah, you can transfer this, transfer that. It's really hard. But also that really got me thinking, and I was like, okay, wow. And I do get messages like this every now and then. Not like this. I mean, maybe once a month. And yeah, that's really hard. When people are like, oh, I want to see you, and I want to meet you, and I want to be your friend. I was like, okay, well, yeah, I want that too. But that's kind of impossible because, well, you do it for one, you have to do it for everyone. And then you go and you try to do that, and it's like, okay, well, you do it for this person, and then other people have said you can't do it for them. And it's like, wow, this is, so what do you do at that point? Like, I don't know. I haven't figured that out. I mean, what do you do? Do like a Make-A-Wish Foundation? Be like, okay, we have 10 people that Chavez can go and visit each year. Or we do that, like, I don't know. I'll keep you guys posted. But if anyone that's doing YouTube, and there's anyone that people, they get fan mail, or they do whatever, maybe if someone could figure out a system of saying, hey, let's do a um, let's try to do like a Make-A-Wish, like a Veve Make-A-Wish thing. I think we could do that, and as Omi goes up, I'll like fuck it, I'll fund it. Um, Try to make people's wishes come true. Be like, yo, I really love, Johnny Dunn, or I really love Foster Hill, or I really love, like whoever it is. Like, okay, well, we'll get them there. Um, and be advised, guys, this is when we have what 15,000 active wallets each week. We're gonna have I hope people that are in the limelight now, I hope they understand that that's a really big responsibility. Um, and I'm not talking about the people that are, rapacious enough to be like, oh yes, I am this, and the ones that think that because they have a little bit of followers or a little bit of following, they have certain Percocets that are awarded to them because of that. I mean, like people that are like really, really, really trying. Like my collectibles is like an amazing dude, and I mean, just a whole bunch of people. Everyone, I couldn't name them all right now. A bunch of times I want to go and like not do it anymore. I want to be like, okay, hey, I want to just enjoy life, vacation, do my animal thing, and I don't know. But then you get those people like, okay, well, there's certain people that really, really like you, and there's certain people that really want to go and they watch all your stuff and they hang on every word that you say. So it's like, okay, well, uh, I don't know, I feel like when you do that, you kind of lose the right to screw up. Like if somebody that has my name tattooed on their wrist, it's like, okay, well, I really can't mess up now. Because if I mess up and I do something stupid, crazy, or stupid, like whatever it is, okay, well, now that person has a real Randy Chavez tattooed, and let's say I'm arrested for like assault or whatever, like I do, like, I don't know, I get something stupid. And it's like, oh, well, now that person has a criminal in their arms. Like, yeah, well, I'm just venting here. I'm not, yeah, it's wild. Anyway, in other news, I've heard people talking about Grumpy Cat and 4chan. Let's see where we are here. Let's go. Oh, Trump had some stuff too. This is a wild day. The whole market's been down. All right, let's see Grumpy Cat. Grumpy Cat only has 769,000 in volume. I had 3 whales text me 2 days ago about Grumpy Cat, and I expected them to be salty. I expected them to be like, "Hey, what the fudge is going on?" Every single one of them is like, "Hey, like, what do you think of Grumpy Cat right now?" I was like, "Okay, well, it's down currently. The announcement of the tier one law firm didn't do anything. Like, I know exchanges are coming. I know they're about to do, they're going to announce those soon, the CEXs, DXs, whatever. If you want to get out, I will, I'm going to hodl because I know some of these things are coming. I thought it would be a much quicker, flip, but, they do continue to grow. The amount of holders that they have are growing. And I do like the backing that they have. I like I like Pro the Doge. I like the community. And I was like, if I'm gonna hang on to it. I might even add more. And they're like, oh no, I wasn't saying anything. I was like, I'm just gonna dollar cost average, and that was all 3 of them. I don't know, like $150,000 just between those 3 are gonna go into it over the next couple weeks. And it's like, oh, well, you do realize that one listing and suddenly it triples, and maybe you shouldn't do it in like as soon as it triples. If it goes from 3 million to 9 million, at that point I wouldn't put in another 50,000. The time to do it is now. If you're gonna do it now. And this is what I told my whales, and they all agreed. We haven't gotten into 4chan yet, but 4chan is doing so well on its own. 4chan might have actually even surpassed Grumpy Cat at this point. I'm gonna check it. Yeah, it did. 4chan has a $4.7 million market cap. 4chan has been continued to surprise me, and this is just community driven. There's no CEXs yet. This 4chan will be. I'm very very happy about this. If you got in at like $1 million, $2 million market cap, and you doubled your money, tripled your money, and you want to take profit, by all means. Um, you know, Never went broke by taking a profit. But yeah, that's but that's if you want to, I'm gonna hodl. Anyway, let's check out Omi. All right, let's see what we got here. Ooh, 181. So it is. So it moved up a couple spots, but it's down. It's down to 00058, which again is fine. I'll totally buy more at these levels. Whoa, sorry. Black Veil Brides, stuck in the brain. Let's get to some comments. I've been talking for 30 minutes here. Mac Gen Z says, straight fire. Jack says, let's get real. MBZ says, damn, you doing late night streams now? I didn't plan on it. It's just, I don't know. I was feeling myself. I was like coming back from an Uber, and I was like, 7-Eleven. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go live and talk to people. Well, I'm talking to myself, but talking to. Yeah, this is like my form of therapy. I get to go in to talk to everyone. You ever read the book Fahrenheit 451, where in this book it's so weird. It came out like decades ago, but it predicted all these different technologies. Like people have like seashells that they put in their ear, and their headphones, their wireless headphones are called seashells in the book. And then people are talking to robots. They're talking to other people on a screen. And this book came out decades ago. There are certain people that sit at home and they talk to people on a screen. And these people are not real. These people are not actual people of talking to others. It's just random robots. It's like they're NPCs. And it's like, whoa, these people, the author of this book, literally thought of Facebook. They thought of AI. They thought of wireless headphones. Where was I going with this? I don't know. Oh, late night streams. From there, like, I don't know. Have you guys ever thought maybe this isn't real? I mean, this life is crazy. How do you have this conscious being, and we all, or most of us, most of the civilized world, follow the same rules and regulations, and it's just, you know how wealth, if somebody makes $10 million or $100 million, it never lasts more than 2 generations. Maybe your kid is wealthy, and maybe the grandkid is wealthy, and then after that, it's done. Why? Because people are imperfect, and it's really, really hard to keep up tradition. It's really, really hard to keep up that work ethic and, morals and values. And how have humans done that for so long? God, animals, like chimpanzees, the closest thing to us, even in their own tribe, if you show any sign of weakness, you get hecked up, you get your genitals bit off, you get your arms ripped off, they kill you. The fact that humans are not going around like murdering each other for different places in the hierarchy is a bloody miracle. And I don't know, it just doesn't seem real. Sometimes it just doesn't seem like, oh yeah, everyone kind of just agrees to be cool, and some parts of the world they're not cool, and you really want to turn the place into glass because of how barbaric they are, but you can't do that because it's only a small amount of the population. The rest of the population is, fairly chill. It's just this is like I don't know, Earth is like an organism, and you have this, most of it is really good. I feel like most people are born good, and they want to do good things. And then you do have the infections, you do have the less desirables, the people that just go and try to make the world a worse place. And it's like, okay, well, what do you do with those people? That's really hard. And then, okay, what about the people that really mean well, the people that want to make the world a better place, but like let's say the military, they don't take anyone unless they have a minimum of 83 IQ. They won't take anyone under an 83 IQ. Why? Because they have determined that there isn't anything that people under an 83 IQ can do that isn't absolutely counterproductive. And it's like, well, that's like 10% of the population. What do you do with that whole 10%? That's a lot of freaking people. It's 800 million people. No, oh, China knows you're here. Um, yeah, that's hard too. Um, that's really difficult. Because then there's some people that really take away a lot of resources, and it's like, okay, well, as a human, you're supposed to have a really high EQ, and you're supposed to be really emotionally intelligent about it. I don't know. I remember one time I was on Lucy, and I was talking to my then girlfriend, is Danielle. You guys have seen her on the podcast. Um, I was like, hey, what if you had an option, if you had the choice, a decision to make on the best way to help the world, what would it be? And she's like, I don't know, maybe like a Captain America type person. And I was like, listen, babe, I've tried that. I've gone that route in like the military type thing. Like it can only reach so far. It won't work to help. And I was like super serious about it. I was like, it won't work. I tried it. But it's true. And yeah, that's why I really like talking to you guys too, because I can talk things out, and things are, if you think something, okay, you're thinking it, but if you say it out loud, you hear it in a different way, and it's like, oh, okay, I didn't know I was thinking that. I didn't know that it sounded like that when I put it into words, when I put it into speech, and the speech, changed the airflow, and other people hear it, and now I'm hearing it the same way other people hear it. Okay, it's different. Um, I feel like everyone should do that, but in a sense, you're talking to yourself, and it's not really something that most people do. I forget where I was going with this. Moving on. Daniel Marquez's comment. Good night, Randy. Cheers, cheers. Jack says 2:30 p.m. in Japan. The stream schedule works perfect. Well, maybe I'll do some more like this. I don't know. Lizzie says LMAO. Isn't 1:30 a.m. where you're at? Yep. John Godfrey says, Randy, I bought 500 billion Grumpy Cat because of you. Let's go. I love this guy. Get it, John Godfrey. Get it. Smarty Pan says, yo, let's go. My East Coast peeps, or West Coast peeps. Vivi Avatar says, what's up, bro? Let's go. What's up, Vivi Avatar? I have a whole bunch of stuff that I really do need to go over. I'll do it in a video tomorrow. Yeah, friends gotta hit me up soon. There's a lot of Veve stuff to go over, but I'll do it in a video tomorrow or today. Lori Brenner says, "Hey Randy, hey Lori." Lori's a cool chick. Lori is part of the 0.5% of women that watch me, because 99.5% of people that watch me are dudes. So Lori, you're in that 0.5%. Get it? You and like a few other women, and that's it. I went and I'll try to find it for you guys. Well, not for you guys. You guys here now, probably pretty cool. But to my male subscribers, okay, yeah. Somebody had asked me, like earlier today. Where's the message? I'll read it to you. Streams community, fall asleep, need a congrats. Oh yeah, they said, thanks Randy, you're always so helpful. It says, also, I'm happy to be one of the 1% of female followers on your YouTube channel. Where did you get all those stats in that live stream? It was interesting to hear those demographics. Why do you think there are such little participation from females? So after answering about the analytics on YouTube, you can find out where they are. I was like, well, I think, when females get into the space and they see it's predominantly dominated by men, that can be a little daunting, and intimidating. I said, I know that there's women ex Veve, there's Veve Magic's channel, prominent people in the community who are women, like, X, Y, and Z. And that should help make some women feel a little bit more comfortable. I also said I feel like aside from taps, there's not too much eye candy for women, unfortunately, right now. On top of that, guys will be guys, and they do tend to hit on anything that moves. And I even had to make a video on that, which was ridiculous. The video is called "To My Male Subscribers / Viewers, Why I Blocked a Whale." And this has 1,400 views. It is, I had to make it because like the disrespect was ridiculous. Hold on, let me go and play that. But it's like if you're like a chill person, you don't need to watch it. But I said I also had to stop being so public with certain friendships with women, because there are certain, the community is like, oh, you're spending time with this girl, you guys must be dating. Oh, I ship you guys. Oh, when are you getting married? Oh, where's this person? If I appear with, by myself, hey, where's this person? If that person appears by themselves, hey, where's Randy? That's, yeah. So I'm really hoping, I'm trying to think on how to get more women in, and that gets really hard too, because it's like, how do you make things for women when this is a male predominant field? It's like, I don't know. You can't force them. You could have, I think they tried it in Norway, where they go and they say, oh, we're gonna try to put women into STEM fields, and we're gonna try to put men into like nursing, and like the opposite happened. Like, because it was a liberal study, everyone that had participated in the study, they expected, that gap to close of, men are making this much money in this field and women are making this much money in this field. And they thought it was because lack of opportunity. So they tried to give everyone the same opportunity and force women to do things that maybe they didn't want to, and force men to things maybe they didn't want to. And the gap widened. Like everyone thought, because again, it was a liberal study, that the gap would close and the gender pay gap would close. A lot of talk about the gender pay gap, but it didn't. It widened, which is really, really interesting. I really, really like those types of studies. Anyway, moving on. Where was I? Okay, we don't need to look at that. We need to look at the comments. Smarty Pants says 4chan going cray cray. 4chan, baby. Let's go. Matt Murphy says, you the man, Randy. You the man, Matt. MBZ says, yep. Oh, hi, Tammy. Hi. And he says, 4chan, only token that didn't get dumped. 4chan to the moon. William Kiefer says, did you give David Yu the money to buy smoke detector batteries? I did not yet. We haven't seen each other in a little while. I will see him later this year. I will give him that $2. I will make sure to give David those $2 for smoke detector batteries. Brandy's Walmart Share says, rip Omi. Yeah, it's down about 2%. William Keeper says, I see the Queen and Tammy in here. Let's get a late night super stream going. If this was a StreamYard, I totally would. But it's not. I can't really have anyone else on. Sven Donji says, good morning. Well, good morning. Says, did you get an opportunity to watch Mr. Pags on Cavell's channel? I did not. Says, if so, any opinion on his view of Veve? I'll read you the interaction that me and Cavell had on Twitter. I don't know when it was. Cavell talks a lot, so maybe I should search myself. I'll take a look at some of his replies and tweets. Well, I'll say this. Foster Hilt had a post where he says, should I do a Veve and Omi live discussion debate with Cavell Anderson? Could be a good convo, or it could be a disaster. Either way, I'm sure it would be entertaining. The winning vote decides. And 67% of people said make it happen. I was in the 33% that said not interested. And the reason why I said that is because I was like, listen, Foster, for the people that have been here for years, you either believe in the Omi token, you believe in the team, or you don't. And someone that's a mega bull and someone that's a mega bear, it's not really going to change anyone's minds. If you're a bear, you look at Cavell. If you're a bull, you look at Foster. And it's not really going to be a thing. Omar Kasaje says, get real Randy Chavez on it too. And I said, listen, me and Foster think pretty much the same on it. I don't think I'd be able to add much more than what Foster already brings. Foster says, you always bring a unique perspective. If nothing less, I've always enjoyed hearing Let's Get This Bread, and I love this game. So I said, thanks, babe. I love you too. Talking to Foster. I'll take a look at Cavell's status here. Cavell says, new people need a reason to believe in the team and a vision factoring in the new known information that wasn't available 2 years ago when the team was sold. I'll explain what that means in a second. Oh yeah, Gatorade's so good. Especially when you're a little tipsy. So what he says is people need a reason to believe in the team. And if they didn't want to do any research, they didn't want to watch any videos, which you should, when you're investing in a company, you have to watch videos of the CEO. You have to see how they act, both when things are going good and when things are going bad. That's super important. But anyway, if people didn't want to do that research, Cavell says people need a reason to believe in the team. And yeah, maybe I should give it to them. And Cavell says, and a vision. They want a vision. So, let's say if they're not long-term focused and they don't think, oh, Ready Player One could be cool in like 10 years. Okay, well, what if they're short-term focused? If they're short-term focused and you say, okay, well, what about like the beginnings of the metaverse? What does that entail? So Cavell says a vision factoring in the new known information that wasn't available 2 years ago. Basically meaning like, okay, 2 years ago we were told X, Y, and Z, and now we have ABC. Cavell says when this dream was sold. So Cavell's trying to make, I'll let you know my response. I say, only things new people have to do is look at our licensing network, how much money we make on a monthly or quarterly basis, check out the competition, and they should have their answers easily. Vicissitudes of the last few years have zero impact on what the company is doing now. So Cavell says, LOL, check out the competition, ? Let's talk about Epic Games. How does Veve beat them entering this NFT metaverse space? You talk about these crappy NFT projects that's still unproven. What about the giants coming in everyone don't want to speak on? Nice English, Cavell. I said, I've spoken repeatedly about Microsoft spending $69 billion, everyone comment nice down below for 69, $69 billion on Blizzard so they can build their metaverse. I've talked about Sony buying Bungie for $2 billion, these are the creators of Halo, to help them with their metaverse. Wendy's coming out with their metaverse. Meta spending $25 billion per year on their metaverse. I say the metaverse is a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity, and if you think for 1 minute that Veve won't get a piece of that, you're being silly. I spared him, name calling, and said you're being silly. So Cavell says, this in particular is about Epic, the one giant who is everything that Veve wants to be, but will never be capable of being, of Epic. Keep going hard in this space. Again, really poor English, but I will answer. I said, Epic Games could certainly be worth 100 billion one day. Heck, it's not halfway there. It's about a third of the way there. It's worth about 32 billion. I said, but it's taken them 30 years to do so. Veve, on the other hand, who is already worth billions, took them a couple years to do it, by the way, will catch up quickly because of the market share it has, how much OMI it has, and other companies that it will acquire or absorb in the future. To say Veve will never be capable of being Epic isn't just silly, it's wrong, and it's importantly wrong. We can't just have people that are imperious enough in the community to say things as a matter of fact when no one can possibly know if that's true or not. When we say things should be, I believe X because of Y, not this is how it is because I'm rapaciously grasping at straws. Cavell had no answer for that. So maybe we will go and um, talk on Foster's channel. I don't know when. If the community wants me there, I'll be there. You know, we shall see. And I imagine Pags thinks the same as Cavell. Sven Dungeon says fear. Mr. Planet Prophet says, wow, found you live. You did find me live, Mr. Planet Prophet. Where was I? Oh God, where'd I go? Mr. Planet Prophet says, it's literally 6:35 in the morning. Walking to the toilet in the dark thought I'd search Randy Chavez. That's so great. I have to take a snapshot of that. Okay. Oh, why do I look like that? Okay, here we go. They're like, I love my friendos. That's amazing. Okay, let me put on my story. And okay, it's done. We're good. Moving on. Let's see what we got here. Sven says, I have the feeling we're in a market capitulation for crypto. You need to have diamond balls to be in the crypto, maybe. Jack says, being single as your friends get married is such an alienating feeling. I don't feel like a real adult sometimes. Same. And that's the other thing that, you know, I'm the youngest one of my friends. They're all in their late 30s, early 40s, and you know, they're kids that are, some of them are teenagers. Most times I identify with adults and what the adults are saying. I say that as like adults, like they're my friends. But every now and then I sympathize and side with the kids. I was like, listen, this is, I don't know, things are different, and the kids are so different nowadays. Like back in the day, you're just like, oh, hey, let's, you know, meet up in a field and like drink to the airplanes flying by, and let's, you know, we were rambunctious. We were not shitheads. We're just, well, maybe. And the kids now are, I don't know. So some of the kids are so like, oh, we'll just like, you know, ride bikes and we'll meet up and find some place to eat. And I was like, that's it. And it wasn't like, you know, they were talking like with their parents, like, oh, like, what do you guys like to do for fun? Like, what do you guys? And they're like, that's it. It's like, you guys don't like to, you know, like, you guys don't drink? And they're like, well, we wanted to try a Mike's Hard Lemonade, but we asked our parents and they said no. I was like, you asked your parents? I was like, what? Because I don't know, I feel like back in the day, you didn't ask your parents, you just took it and you locked yourself in your room and you dealt with the beating later if that was, you know, if that was a thing. Um, yeah, so when, and even like I asked one of my friends about it, it's like, yeah, they asked me to like try like a Mike's Hard. And I was like, what did you say? And she's like, well, I told him like, since you asked, I'm gonna tell you no because you're stupid, and I'm gonna be watching you now. I was like, um, yeah, kids are much different nowadays. They're like too polite, and they're too like, you know, what happens if the parents say no to something, and the kid's like, that's not very cash money of you, and they dab. I was like, you can't just teach your kids to curse. Like you can't just. Um, God, I would be a shitty parent. um, but one of the we were bonding over, you know, Black Veil Brides, Sleeping with Sirens, Falling in Reverse, and like, will you take us to a concert? I was like, listen, if there's a concert like that around here, I'm in. And I don't know if I want to take you guys, but they're like, no, come on, please. Like, I don't know if that's like, well, I don't know if it's a thing kids should go to, but then I was like, well, if your parents agree, I was like, okay. Um, yeah, I don't know. I like the when you get older, you have this like, hey, I'm gonna do this because it'll help me do this. You know, as you get older, you never really, you don't really goof off anymore. It's, you know, you know, you don't go to Home Depot and get a few shovels and go to the beach and just dig a hole. You know, you don't. just play frisbee. Like, what are we gonna do? I don't know. We're just gonna toss frisbee around, and it turns into a game. It turns into a fun night. When it was like, well, I got to do this because I have to do this because of X, Y, and Z. You know, yeah, that gets really kind of depressing sometimes. Where you just have this like big life energy and you just want things to be like the way they were, and it's like, okay, well, all your friends are adults and they do adult things, and it's like, I just want to play video games with people, man. I want to have a Super Smash Brothers tournament. You know, I want to go and like knock people off the edge with my, up B attack. Um, yeah, I don't know. Adults are boring, man. I really hope I never become that. Well, I hope I never become boring, and I hope I always really love video games. Um, yeah. Anyway, moving on here. Sven Donja says, "Hi, MR." Mr. Planet probably says, "Hey, Sven." Sven says, "Did you check V Chain?" I haven't yet. Gold holder, Mr. Prophet. Nice, nice. Mr. Planet Prophet says, "Oh yeah." Jack says, "Yosuke Yamamoto for the win." Good for you. For the win. Miss Planet Prophet says, "SEC is fighting us. First they laugh at us, then they fight us, then they join us. Why? Because they can never beat us." Reminds me of that Gandhi quote that says, "First they ignore you, then they ridicule you, then they fight you, and then you win." Love that quote. Mr. Prophet says, "That sad man, smash that like button." Sven smashed it as well. Jackson's very touching. Spawner House says, "What the fudge? Why do the good guys get bad luck? So sad. Makes me appreciate life more. We should appreciate life. Uh, every day above ground is a blessing." Jack says, "Cherish every day." Hunter Prophet says, "Brave, poor guy." Agreed. Pine says, "Made me cry, bro. It's a wake up call for me in my life." Yeah, yeah, I get, that's really sad because I remember when I was younger, like I've had bad knees for as long as I can remember. Um, and a lot of it was because before I got in the military, I spent 9 years as a veterinarian assistant. And you would have to, when you have to, let's say, draw blood from a dog, you have to get on their level. You have to kneel down on the tile floor. You have to turn the hand, or you have to turn the paw to like hold off the vein. And you have to hold them. You have to make sure they don't move and get the vein. Then you have to, but you're on your knees doing all this. You're on the knees clipping nails. You're on the knees doing exams, like whatever it is. And my knees just got fudged up, like really, really badly. And again, this is before the military, and that's why I don't get any disability. um, and I don't know, I would get salty at fat people that they didn't have any knee problems. I was like, you don't take care of your body. You don't care about your body. Your body's not a temple. You eat like shit. You look like shit, and you're just, you don't deserve these good knees. You don't deserve to have no pain. Like I deserve to have no pain. I spent my life helping animals. I spent my life trying to keep in shape, and I'm the one that gets hecked, and you're the ones that being a fat piece of crap your whole life, and you don't have any problems. I was very, very salty. And then over the course of your life, you just realize, oh, okay, some people just have different genetics, and it's just nobody's fault. It's just the luck of the draw. It's a roll of the dice. It just happens, and you know, it's sometimes you draw the short straw, and it sucks. But um, I learned a lot about how fish oil helps and krill oil helps, and about joints and inflammation and sweet potato. And it's like, okay, well, now at least I know stuff. So that gets fun. What were we talking about here? Yeah, wake up call. I don't know. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes like you need to fall as low as you can go, and then you have that moment of redemption. You have that moment of true clarity after you hit rock bottom, and then you hit a bottom that's below rock bottom. Again, you get that moment of clarity. You get to realize, oh, okay, I needed to fall this far in order to get back up. I needed to go to where I didn't think I could come back from, and then you can come back from it. For those of you that maybe are fairly new and I haven't talked about this in a while, I'm an alcoholic, and I have been so since I joined the military. And in 2018, I had a very bad liver issue where I thought I was gonna die. I was like very sure it was gonna happen. Like there was actually one night where I wake up like, you know how like a lot of women when you're like, hey, hey, they go. I felt like that. I was like, I woke up and I was in the hospital because I don't know what was wrong with my liver, and the machine next to me was beeping. And I was like, what is it beeping for? Am I okay? And I think I was fine. But the guy that I was sharing a room with, because in a VA hospital, it is the bottom of the barrel. They're scraping. I was in the VA hospital. I shared a room with, at this time, two other dudes. I could share with three other dudes. It was two other dudes, and this one guy is like mad at me. He's like, "Your machine is beeping, and it's keeping me awake." And I was like, "Oh, sorry." And then, like, the two nurses come running in, like, "Oh, what's going on?" I was like, "Ma'am, I don't know. Like, the old guy across the room is mad at me because my machine's beeping. I don't know why it's beeping. Maybe I had a bad dream." And like, I still to this day don't know what happened. They didn't tell me. I think I might have died. So ever since that, so I took like a 6 month break, 7 month break of alcohol. I think 8 month break of alcohol, until New York Comic Con that year, and I was like, let's go, you know. Um, but yeah, I mean now it's very more functional, and I did like the Eddie Guerrero thing where it's like, oh, if I don't take a drink for the rest of my life, that seems like an impossible mountain to climb. But if I say, oh, I shouldn't take a drink for the rest of the day, I could do that. Live your life moment by moment, like hours at a time. And, then it becomes easier. Again, I'm getting way off topic. We're gonna move on here. That's a great idea. Sven says, I love Randy's his story, why Mew is his favorite Pokemon. Well, I have a few, and I'll read you one, um, about what my favorite Pokemon is. Um, it had been for a couple of reasons. Post from me, show results, Pokemon holiday. Well, here's one saying I have a few different reasons. Also, Venusaur, Charizard, Arcane, Moltres, and Mew, Gen 1 Pokemon that have a special place in my heart. But also Stunky. Stunky is evolved from Skuntank, the skunk Pokemon. Not a lot of trainers want this Pokemon because it smells bad, but I have anosmia, which means that I don't have a sense of smell. I get 10% disability from the government because of that. But I don't have a sense of smell. So they can smell as bad as they want, and it won't matter to me. They need love too, and I love them all. Another Pokemon I really love, Mewtwo. Because me being adopted and Mewtwo being created, our births are similar. And he says, I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It's what you do with the gift of life that makes you who you are. End quote. And for someone who had never known his own family or creators, hearing someone as powerful as Mewtwo say that means a lot to me. And that's, when Uncle Jeremy says, who's your favorite Pokemon and why, Mewtwo might not be my favorite, but they are, that's why I really like Mewtwo. Miss Planner Pop says, that's why I followed Randy, like an addiction from day one. We love you and can't wait to get you rich. Same, Planet Prophet, same. Jack Jess says, nah, fam, we all do stupid things, only human, that's fair. Lana says, put half my profile into memes day before the next day, the news. Ooh. Well, 4chan's good. Says, the world will be a better place if people like Randy and people who love animals get rich. I cannot wait. It will happen. We just don't know when. Fans Phoebe is done for. I love the trolls. Latrice says, this is my time of day. Hey, Randy. Hi, Latrice. Latrice, let's get you on the podcast. You've been on here for a while. Mr. Planet Prophet says, man, not even getting started. General 69, what up? Fun Under the Sun says, good night, Randy. Good night, Fun Under the Sun. Smart Buy says, Thanos Secret Rare gonna beat the Luke Secret Rare, but, oh, fighting words. Says, prove me wrong, most are crafted by real collectors and people who pay too much for stones. Very less people to flip. Maybe. Maybe. Abe says, Omi is under a ton of FUD. I'll see you at 30 cents. By the way, where's Taps? Taps is getting his wedding on soon. He'll be married in a couple months. He's my bae, and I love him, and I can't wait to go see him again. He'll be back, though. Mr. Pineapple, how many editions Thanos? Like, that the secret rare Thanos? At least 800, if not more. Mr. Pineapple says, in my opinion, Thanos is nowhere near as famous or popular as Star Wars characters. That's fair. That's fair. Oh. Oh my god, that's gonna hurt. Smart buy some Spider Profit, probably around 1,000. Yeah. This is not so scarce. Agreed. Spider Profit says, when Captain Jack Sparrow. This is a tale of Captain Jack Sparrow. Pirates away in the seven seas. Sorry, I love that song. Smart buy says, Mr. Spider Profit, Luke have 3 variants. Thanos armor, only 1. Well, there's 2 Thanos. There's a thinking Thanos and then the secret rare Thanos. Luke only famous in US mostly. Thanos famous everywhere. I don't know about that. Very less people know Luke in Asia, etc. But everyone knows that. I don't know. Maybe that's true, but I don't know. Star Wars has been insanely popular for 40 years. Thanos really only got popular the last 10 years. So, we're not sure. V-True says 4chan up 50%. Let's go. Mr. Planet Prophet says, good points. Star Wars UK, pretty massive, where I'm from, but I forgot Asia don't do Star Wars. This will be fun. V-True says 4chan FOMO. Let's go. Stan says a pro versus con debate would be epic and sorely needed to smash the fudders. My money's on Randy v. everyone. Thank you. Mr. Panda Prophet's price prediction on Thanos, the secret rare, maybe like 800. I'd say maybe 800, depending on how many there are. Stan says, as the SEC attack exchanges and they delist, did a Comey wait too late to get listed as FUD heightens? No. They'll get listed on other things at some point, but you're right. Like, I don't think we'll get Binance or Coinbase for a while. Even if it was ready, like, I don't think we get it until next year now because, well, Coinbase and Binance are being attacked, and you don't want to list something that, even though there's no way that Omi's a security, the SEC calls everything a security. So yeah, we'll see. Carl R says, in what way would Disney ever give utility to Valve or other Veve NFTs? They probably won't. Guys, it took them a lot of convincing to get them to do the Disney D with the Aladdin lamp. It took a lot of convincing for that. Marvel is much better doing the utility stuff. Again, separate company. It's under the same umbrella, but it's a separate company. The Marvel Mighties have been doing utility stuff for months, since last year. Marvel stuff, it'd be a lot easier to do airdrops and stuff of things like that, that type of utility. But you said, would Disney ever give utility to Walt or other people? Probably not. It already did. If you got a Walt on drop, you got a year's worth of Disney Plus. If you got any gold moment, 6 months worth of Disney Plus. They already gave that. I don't think they're going to give more. But again, it's just my opinion. And Jordan Reese says, Randy, yo, what up, Jordan? Mr. Pine Prophet says, hey, Jordan. Jordan says, yo, making a slightly hype video soon on Omi. Let's go. AKA Bone says, I doubt getting on exchanges is any issue. Now it might be. Carl R says, why suggest buying the Walt to Wales then? Because it's super iconic. You don't buy Walt for the utility. You buy Walt because 700 of them are in accounts that are a year or older. You buy Walt because, hold on, let me get rid of this person. Remove the fan idiot. You buy Walt because it's iconic. You buy Walt because Dr. Profit has 400 Walts. Combine that with the over 700 that are in accounts that have been locked up or inactive for a year or more. You have 1,100 of those that are locked up. That's 25%. That's a lot. It's a lot of them are locked up. So that's why you buy partner stature. You buy it because of the significance of the history, the fact that the biggest whale on Veve has 400 of them. Yeah, you really want to go and have that type of thing. You really want to go and have that type of person buying from you. And that's why you buy the Walt. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. I'm very, very tired. I'm going to eat the rest of my Cheez-Its. And I'm going to go. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say goodbye to Dashi. Could we really use some news from the company? In this case, no news is no news. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we really need anything. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Meow, 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 Randy. Bye. Meow, meow.